Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Arsenal Show. Let's play the intro and then get right into it. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of the Arsenal Show. And as you can see, just on time, right when we need him.
Wow.
I believe that's a Bob Marley Ajax shirt there from Melvyn.
Oh no! Yeah. Oh, he's all right.
Yeah.
Is he there?
Yeah, just about.
Well spotted. Well spotted.
Yeah, everything's going to be all right. So, yeah, just right on time as we go live. I love it. Thanks, Melvyn.
Are you doing all right?
I'm all good. Yourself? Good.
Morning, Neil.
Morning, Melvyn.
Yeah, and as you can see, we got
Yeah,
Neil
fine,
here as
thanks.
well.
One thing, I think I know
Oh,
what the problem. I'm switching now.
Sorry, Melvyn.
he's gonna have to restart, James.
Yeah, I think you're having the problems with the internet again, Melvyn.
While you
Oh
do
dear.
your intro,
You might. Oh, Neil, we're live. Anything can happen.
That's it.
Anything
Don't work
anything
with
can
kids
happen.
and animals.
Oh, part of me, yes, yeah. If Melvyn, if you could hear us, see us, or anything, in the classic IT format for someone that works in facilities and IT, just turn it off and turn it on again. It's the classic. That's the classic that I can give. And one sec, hopefully.
Always coming back.
Hey, that seems much better already.
Right. Yeah, it's a shame I bought this thing, and it's good for listening, but for me, but not when I do the video. And then running. Let's go. Let's go.
Okay, yeah. Well, glad we're all here and we can kick this off properly. So, started this weekend, just passed with a 2-0 win at home versus Everton. Completely flipped the starting lineup in this game from the draw with Leverkusen. Obviously, Calafiori come in and Madwecki come in and Havertz come in over Hincapié, Martinelli and Gyökeres. Neil, I know that you don't like lineup questions, so I'll go to Melvyn. Melvyn, those three changes for you, was that okay for you? Were you all right with them changes, or would you have preferred those players to start? Oh, hopefully he's not frozen again.
No, I'm all right now.
Did you miss the question, Melvyn?
Well, about the lineup. What I thought about the lineup?
Yeah.
I'm frozen again. What's going on here? Right.
Melvyn,
Just asking about the lineup.
Melvyn, try it with your camera off.
My camera off.
Yeah, try it with the camera off.
Right. Is that better?
Yeah. Can you hear us all, Melvyn?
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I'm happy to do it like that.
Okay, yeah, no worries. So yes, obviously saying about the lineup, were you happy with those three changes?
Yeah, I was. The only thing I thought was strange after about 5-10 minutes, when you can see how the game's going, you never switched Madwecki and Saka, because it wasn't. You could tell they weren't. I mean, they just weren't getting it after about 10 minutes. He's not naturally on the left side, is he? Madwecki's always played better on the right, and as the game grew and we were getting more frustrated, it was quite obvious that we needed to switch that, or he needed to switch that. But other than that, no, the lineup was quite good. I thought, during the game, I wanted things to change, but as the lineup was, I was a little bit again with the old, going to be in my bonnet about this, Zubamendi. I thought that, we needed to attack Everton and to have two tight holding players in Rice and Zubamendi at home to Everton, when I didn't think was needed. Having said that, we were lucky to go in 0-0 half time.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. And I thought we started this game well, playing quite a good bit of football. And we had the moment quite early with Calafiori, who cracked the ball straight over the bar, sadly. But the build-up and the move was well played and executed by Eze and Zubamendi there especially. And then, as always, Arsenal, after this early flurry and not being able to convert our chances, we really start to rue these missed chances. And it sort of breathed a bit of life into Everton. And then Everton had their chance. It come from the right-hand side initially, from a good bit of work from Mikolenko at left back into Ndiaye, Timber on top of a muscular problem that he sort of got early in the game. He then got like sort of a whack, which seemingly took him out of the game. He ended up getting subbed there, which we sort of all predicted. We did say, don't really think we need to play Timber today. He might pick something, he's due a muscular injury or an injury. And we were right there. But Ndiaye carries on, Neil, and he hits a cross that doesn't fully connect with the punch, and it falls to Dwight McNeil. And then Calafiori is one of the changes, but this block, that Calafiori makes, the kind of flexible scorpion kick style clearance, gave old Rennie Higuita a bit of a run for his money, didn't it? With the scorpion kick.
Yeah. Oh God, that was unreal, wasn't it? I'll never forget that moment. I don't know if you remember it. I'm sure you remember it. It's unbelievable. It was just. Oh God, I'm about to sneeze. This is all going wrong, isn't it? What time to start getting a hay fever attack? Oh, my apologies. Right, I should be okay.
We're live, Neil. We're live. We're rolling.
We are. Oh dear. Apologies, everyone. I think I can't remember who it was. I might have said it on one of the other pods that we did, James. But was it Smith on the commentary? Probably was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I was a bit lucky. Oh, seriously, mate. Look. I know you really do push the impartiality part of your punditry to the next level, but come on, man. That was not lucky. He knew what he was doing. He put his leg up. He was trying his best, and I didn't realise this, but he kind of even punched the floor when he did it, or he did some motion that, wow, look, I got it. I managed to save it. It was a solid block, and it's not easy when you're in that position to even keep the leg that strong, because these balls are hit at some pace and power, and he managed to do that. And I think that actually ended up being a very important block, because we were struggling, and if we'd gone down in that game, it could have been catastrophic for us when we so desperately needed those 3 points. So I think for me, that was one of the turning points of the game for us in terms of a defensive perspective. I know Raya made some blinding saves yet again. I mean, I would actually, I know, obviously we know who got the man of the match, and deservedly so. But, I think Raya was up there because he got us out of some tough spots again. But Calafiori, that was a wonderful save, wonderful piece of improvisation when you've got literally a split second to do so. And I think it was a pivotal point of the match for me.
Yeah, definitely. And after that, obviously, we didn't fail to clear our lines properly, and McNeil ended up wrapping that shot off the post. And then basically towards the end of the first half, Raya then made another amazing save, like you said, Neil, from Dewsbury Hall just before the half finished. And you're wondering again, aren't you, just typical Arsenal, how we've gone from such a period of dominance where we're making all these chances and some of them are going over, some of them are testing Pickford or what have you. And then we're looking like the team that's under the cosh. Just all that early dominance just seems to dissipate. And we then head into the second half, and Everton, they still, assert some of the dominance that they've had. Raya had to make another brilliant save from Beto this time from a corner. And then Eze had 2 great chances from outside the box. One of them went wide, and then one of them was well saved by Pickford. And coming to you now, Melvyn, for about 88 minutes, you're thinking there, aren't you, that David Raya or Pickford's probably going to win the man of the match in this game in a 0-0 draw. But then eventually, on the 89th minute, the deadlock gets broken. Victor Gyökeres is who scores the goal. Max Dowman teased a fantastic cross in. It forced an error from Pickford, completely took him out of the game, and it fell to Hincapié, who, I won't mention what it looked like he got the assist from. It did not look like a part of his body that normally people get assists from. But yeah, Gyökeres was there to tap it into the net, and it looked like sheer pandemonium in that stadium, Melvyn.
Oh, it was. It was unbelievable. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I was getting very upset with Raya because with about 5 minutes to go, number one, he nearly gave the ball away. I think he passed it left-footed. And we're going, no! And then he kept dwelling on the ball. We're like, just kick it then. If you don't know what you're doing with it, just kick it. It's no good being round by you. I know that seconds don't always matter, but sometimes they do. But that goal, I mean, I just saw the ball get crossed for Dowman, and you see it come back. You're thinking, what happened there? You know the goalie made a mistake. Wasn't sure what type of mistake it was, whether he pushed it onto someone or whatever. And then it just seemed to roll, and Gyökeres was there. And we're thinking, you can't miss this one, mate. This will be the end of your career as an Arsenal player. And also, which I didn't understand, and obviously I didn't know till I got home, watched it on Match of the Day 48 times. But why was there a VAR? And if there was a VAR, why did it take so long? I think it was about they were worrying about Hincapié's handball. It's got a funny place to have a hand, but anyway, they're thinking it might be a handball. Well, if it's handball, it's nowhere near his hand, is it? It was
it could be, Melvyn. It's that long that it reaches where his arms are. That's why they probably had to get the lines out. They had to measure it potentially.
They just want to measure something, but I don't understand why it took so long. It wasn't contained. It was like, no, it didn't hit his hand. So what are they looking for next? Is it Arteta standing outside the box, the manager's box, to disallow it then? But I mean, it went mental. It went absolutely mental. Like everything else, it took a little bit away because then we had to think, hold on, VAR. But then you've got the old, I've been there before. We've all been there before. It's only 5 minutes to go. Can we hold on? And the rest is history, as we say.
Yeah. And Neil, obviously talking about the first goal there, and just right after it, Martinelli had another great chance from outside the box as well that Pickford saved. But yeah, Everton marching up the pitch on the 97th minute. They end up winning a corner. I know all of us in the group chat, me and you especially, were like, oh, are we going to get done? Is this going to be, they're going to give it, Arsenal have just been Arsenaled again and from a corner kick. But no, Victor Gyökeres rises up, bang, get that away from my box. Don't want it anywhere near me. Martinelli, bang, flicks that away as well. And it falls to a young Max Dowman again. And he produces what can only be defined as a career-defining solo run from his own half. Martinelli, like we mentioned, cuts off the left-back who probably was going to get there in the foot race, but he cut across so the boy could score. And he rolls the ball into the empty net to become Arsenal's youngest ever goal scorer, the Premier League's youngest ever goal scorer at 16 years and 73 days old. And we were all watching at home, and obviously Melvyn was there, but I thought the first goal was pandemonium, but that looked like even more. I don't know what the next up from pandemonium is, but it certainly looked like it after that second one. I know what you're going to say, Neil, because we've spoken about this 2 or 3 times already. But yeah, what did you make of the goal again?
I think we'd probably call it Dobermania, up from pandemonium. So. Oh, James, what can I say about this lad? You know how much I've absolutely loved him from day one. You know how I've said that he's Messi 2.0. He's going to be the greatest footballer that's ever lived. I will stand by all of that. And as I said, now I'm calling, I was saying that, he's Messi 2.0. Messi is Doberman 2.0 for me now. I think he's going to be even better than Messi. That's what I believe. But incredible ball. Sorry about the phone. One sec. Oh, it's already. We've got to give credit to Gyökeres. We have to, because although Martinelli helps it on as well, it's his defensive header in the box. And I think he's actually diving to the ground almost, isn't he? I can't remember exactly, but it was an amazing get. So let's give him credit for that. So he was kind of like a pre-assist and a goal scorer in that game. But then, Martinelli manages to head it out. But for me, although it might look very easy from a lot of people's perspective, but Doberman had to do a lot of work there twice. First grounding getting away from the first defender, who also, if you look closely, grabs him or makes an attempt of a grab. So this showcases his strength, which is already improvement from what we saw before his injury. So he's built up some strength as well. And then he had the intelligence, the way he actually managed to evade the second defender as well, the way he rounded him. And I think he's just got so much awareness. He's not only quick and very skillful, but I think he's very aware. And you know what? I'll put bits of Bergkamp in this boy as well. I'll put every great player into this guy because he's got it all. And then he had the pace and the intelligence just to do all of that. And then, of course, the rest is just running up the pitch. Martinelli helps out. But the fact that, I don't normally say this about anyone, but I'm so jealous Melvyn was there, because that was one of these moments in football history that, you just can't describe to anyone unless you're there. It's just, we know what we can see from the screens, James, or from wherever you're watching it. If you're there, it's something you probably will never ever forget. It's one of those moments. We always talk about what was our favourite live moment, whether it be Highbury or Emirates. We still remember it so well, as if everything's going on, goosebumps, everything's happening, your emotions. It's all crazy. And the good thing about this one, this is an old school goal in this aspect that there's no VAR, because there's nothing to VAR. It's completely fine. It started from the other end of the half. So there's no question of any offsides. No one is being fouled. It's just a clear chance, and that is why I think a lot of the players on the sides were already in motion, running towards him, because they knew he was going to put the ball in the net. And Martinelli, just great to just get in front of that defender, just in case he was able to catch up with him in that run race, as you said. But the pandemonium from the players, and as I think I might have said off chat or maybe during chat, everyone was involved, but I really appreciated Miles Lewis-Skelly going up there and being absolutely joyful, considering the kid has had hardly any pitch time. And for him to be involved, it just goes to show how much this squad is not only invested in the youngster, but they're also and Miles Lewis-Skelly is a youngster himself. Let's not forget that. But they're also invested in the vision of what we're trying to do as a club here. Oh, mate, it was a magical moment. And Melvyn, mate, I'm so happy you were there. So happy for you.
Yeah, Melvyn, obviously you were there in person, and you've seen many a magical moment over at the Arsenal. And I know that at the moment there isn't the trophies in hand or in possession, but it certainly looked like we put at least one hand maybe on the Premier League with that win, and Man City dropping the points. And for Max Dowman to get that goal against Everton, I was lucky enough to be there 97-98 when Tony Adams scored that goal against Everton. And that's in a frame in this room, and one day may eventually make the wall when I could be bothered. But I think there will be a few people in many moons to come that might have this Max Dowman goal on their wall, or the celebration and what have you, because it seemed like a really, really important goal.
Yeah, I was lucky. You see, the thing is, I'm saying I'm lucky because I haven't been to every game this season. I've missed quite a few for very reasons that sometimes it doesn't suit me. It really is a bit like that. I mean, I didn't go the other night. We're coming to that, the European game. I mean, it's a fortune for the ticket, absolute fortune. I thought, you know what, I can do without that. But I had everything the game before against Everton. I mean, that goal, once he broke. I don't agree with you, James. I don't think the left back was going to catch him. I know what Martinelli did was very clever thinking. but I don't think he would have caught him. I wasn't worried about that at all. But even if he did catch him up, he'd have gone round it 4 times and put it in the net anyway. So don't worry about that. But what was the beauty of it is you're there, you're seeing the whole pitch, you're seeing how it developed, and then you're knowing, like you said, Neil, it can't be VAR'd off. It cannot. And you've got a chance to get off your seat and cheer before the ball goes in the net. I mean, that was the whole crowd was going mental before it went in the net. And once it went in the net, they had a little just put it up a couple of degrees. I mean, it was like shaking. It was marvellous, absolutely marvellous. And you know what I was very pleased about? The pundits never had a go at us for scoring that goal, because they could have said, and they never, that we scored another goal from a corner.
Yeah, very true. Very true.
But it was our corner. It was their corner, not our corner.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's funny, isn't it, that they talk about how boring it is at how we are scoring from set pieces, but they'll never praise the defending from them. Like Neil, you mentioned there with Gyökeres, and then even Martinelli's headers out and everything else like that. You know, they're not quick enough to praise how we defend them, which, again, this season, sometimes the defensive setup from the set pieces hasn't been as good. But
can I just say one thing? Sorry.
Yeah, please. Yeah. No, go.
Sorry. I think, I don't know whether we should give praise or not, or we never thought about it. I've got to praise Pickford for not taking out Martinelli. He could have done, knowing that we'd probably score. I know the game looked like it might be won anyway, but he might have taken one, got a yellow card, and then they might have had one more chance, Everton. So we got to thank Pickford, because a lot of players, would take Martinelli out when the ball's in the air, swirling around. So I think a little bit of a thumbs up to him for that.
Yeah.
Can I quickly, sorry, it's about interruption again, sort of praise our set piece coach yet again. So now we're good at defending our corners against us. We're good at scoring corners for against the team as well. So set piece mastery both ends. But now he's also added another one to his repertoire, that we can score from their corners for us. It's brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, no, very, very true. Man of the match for this game before we move on to the next one. And we got some questions as well that I've jotted up. I think it's quite obvious. I think around the table, all three of us will maybe have the same. It's got to be Max again, hasn't it? In a 16-minute cameo here for him, he had more touches of the ball. He had 28 touches of the ball, which was more than anyone else on the pitch. Then that just shows the level of trust. These players know, even though he is 16 years old, if we give him the ball, he'll do something. So I think that already, to be that thought of, and that highly thought of, to be influential, to change games at 16 years of age, I think that's insane. And then, like I said, he cemented himself in Arsenal folklore, scoring one of these goals. But I also agree with what you said earlier, Neil. I think Flowers here has to go for David Raya as well. First goalkeeper in Europe's top 5 leagues to keep 20 clean sheets, 15 of them being in the Premier League, which is the toughest league in the world. I know that all of our teams embarrassed us in Europe this season, but all the Italian teams were gone as well. So, and I don't see anyone slagging off the Italian league.
No.
So, and that's now increased, obviously, that clean sheet record, as we'll touch on. Martinelli and Gyökeres as well for me. I thought did really well when they come on. Hincapié, I thought had another brilliant cameo as well. And I'll also say I thought William Saliba, I know I've been high on praise of Gabriel this season, rightfully so, but I thought Saliba was sublime against Everton here today. Gabriel in this game, obviously very, very assured as always, but I thought Saliba just stepped up for me, his level. I thought he looked like the Saliba that we saw when it was the black and gold kit, when we were just like, this guy, that was when the Rolls Royce comparison started. And I was like, you have come back to what your usual self. He looked like he loved the physical challenge. He was silky on the ball. Some of the times when he was bringing the ball out from the back even and starting attacks, I was just like, this is an all-round sublime footballer. So, I was really, really, really happy with him. But I'll go to you first with a question here on this game, Neil. Max Dowman, now become our youngest goal scorer in the history of the Premier League and the history of the club. We saw flashes of brilliance of him since pre-season, and most Arsenal fans said he was the best player for Arsenal in the whole of the pre-season, along with Noni Madueke as well. Now he's had this potentially title-defining moment against Everton. Do you think this has cemented his takeover already in the squad? Or do we need to temper our expectations as fans and our expectations on him as a player to avoid burning him out?
Look, there is always a risk of burnout with any player. It can happen with we've been talking about it, and we've been concerned about some of our senior players, Timber, Rice, Subamendi, etc. So that's not out of the question. There is no harm about talking about it. And then, of course, we've had experiences, for example, notably Theo Walcott. I think we put a ton of expectations on him, touting him as the next Henry, who going to the World Cup even without the manager even seeing him play, all of this stuff. And I don't think that helped him. So when you look at it from a pragmatic point of view, I think, yes, we still need to be careful. He is only 16. We've got to ensure that he is molded into this role, which is going to be massively impactful, not just for Arsenal, but I think for football, in terms of how I think the impact he's going to make is going to be worldwide, not just for our club. This is what I'm saying. So we've got to be careful. However, I'll then look at the other side of the coin, and I just look at how he is and how grown up he is. And it's not unheard of for players to start playing fairly regularly at that age. We had it, Cess, Rooney, all of these players, especially when they hit 17. I know he's not there yet. He's only 16 in a few weeks. But I then sometimes think that if the guy is ready, and actually he's doing more in a few minutes than most of our attack do in the whole games. And we're at a crunch time in the season where we're going for 4 trophies, but obviously the Premiership still for me is probably the most important one. And if we need him, I think if I was the manager, I could not leave him off the bench. I mean, I couldn't leave him out of the squad for every game. He's got to feature somehow, whether he starts or whether he's on the bench. Now, I think probably it would be best if he is not a starter at the moment, but he's on the bench. So we've got him, but it's almost like that ace up our sleeves to bring him on if we need him, because his impact is always immediate. He's forward thinking. He immediately wants to attack the ball. He wants to attack the defenders, and he wants to have a go. And that progression is something that has been lacking quite a lot from our attackers, as you guys know. Pretty much, I won't say all season, because there have been some games where we've been very forward thinking. And I know there's the mitigating factor of the teams setting up low blocks against us and making it very difficult for us. However, I still feel that we've been lacking up front, especially when we've been given opportunities. This lad has just been mesmeric. And I would also put Madueke in that bracket, because you know what I feel about him. And I know that he's very enterprising, attack focused, and he has a go. So we need him in that respect. Whether I would start him in games, not sure, but he has to feature. And I'll tell you something, next season, boy, I think he's going to be someone that other players in that position should start worrying about, because he's got to be the man for me. All credit to the youngster. We just have to tie him in for life. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, and Melvyn, I'll ask the same question to yourself. What are your thoughts on that one?
Yeah, he's got to play. He's got to be in the squad, like Neil said, and he's got to get some time on the pitch, even if we're winning. Just bring him on to give him the experience. Because I mean, with that goal he scored, what was amazing was not saying he's like Messi at the moment, but he could become on that level. But with Messi, I used to just watch him. I couldn't follow what he did with the ball. He was so quick. With that little flick he did to take the second defender out, I'm still quite get my eyes round what happened. I know his body took the defender out. A little movement took the defender to go one way. That little flick is like, wow, where did that come from? It wasn't just speed. It was just everything. It's just amazing to watch. And it's so exciting. And when you were sitting there 90 minutes or whatever it was, or it was 80 minutes before he come on with the extra bit we played in the first half. And it was just Saka, really, for me, he wasn't doing it. And he hasn't been doing it for a bit. And it looked like chalk and cheese when he came on. It was like a whole breath of, and everyone knew it was like a breath of fresh air. Like, wow, now we can get going. You know, everyone's got confidence in him. He's got confidence in himself. He's got a swagger about him, which I don't think is arrogance. I think it's just his natural makeup, the way he does it. It's fantastic, absolutely fantastic. And yeah, you can tell that the guys want to give him the ball. He had so much of it. He was the main outlet because he was the only one that they knew they could possibly do something with. But I tell you something, this goal scoring record he's got, I don't think he's going to hold it for. I don't think he's going to have this record for very much longer. I don't know if you're aware, you probably are. We've got another kid in the academy, Luis Manos. Have you seen him?
Funny enough, Dad spoke to me about this last night. He said Simon Jordan was on the radio.
That's right. That's
and
right.
He said to me, apparently we got some guy that's 13, and they've said this kid could be even better than any of it. And he said the production line at Arsenal is absolutely incredible. He's like, I don't know what they've done over the years, and I'm like, to me, I'm like that. I know he's leaving, and I'm quite sad. And we mentioned this when it was announced, but I think Mertesacker, being the head of this here, the way that guy conducts himself with parents, and I don't know if you saw when we did the Amazon documentary, we also did one about Hale End, and that was Nanwary, Miles Lewis Skelly, and that group then, and I just seeing how he was with players, parents, and everything else, I was just like, I'm not a parent, but if I was, obviously I've got the affinity bias being an Arsenal fan. But I'm like, if I had to go somewhere and talk to someone to trust them with my child, you know, and bring, I'm like, Mertesacker would convince, you know, I think that guy, you know, the classic line, isn't it? He could sell snow to Eskimos. He's you know, he's one of them. He's that convincing.
You know something? I know everyone's got to start from somewhere. So I know that he has never done it before. But I was, when the writing was on the wall, looked like the writing was on the wall for Arteta, I thought he might step up. I wouldn't have been too upset if someone like him stepped up, because I think, as you say, got something about him. He's got an authoritarian, you know, he's 6 foot, whatever he is, 6'12". I mean, he's just the way he talks to people. He's very intelligent. I've been to talks where he's giving talks on stage. He's excellent, sense of humour, knows the game. I mean, come on, he does know the game, and I wouldn't have been too upset if that things went the other way and Arsenal decided to cut the book, as they say, to bring him on. But yeah, I'm sad he's leaving. I think he's done a fantastic job. But getting back, when you get a chance, gentlemen, have a look at a 10-minute video. I know YouTube, you know, he's playing against kids because he is a kid, but the talent there, you're looking at it and go, oh my God, if this can be replicated with his growth and experience, we've got another one, if not. But can I say better? I'm not going to say that yet, but unbelievable. He's got a shot on him, which is ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. Apart
so is he a striker, Melvyn?
Yeah, he's like plays, I would say, attacking midfielder rather than striker.
Okay, cool.
He just carries the ball, goes past people, and let's rip. You know, just has these shots, and like, wow, right foot, left foot. I mean, it's not fair on the defenders, really, but that's digressive. But just to say, I'm sure he will have this record for a long time. But if he gets beaten, that's where it's going to get beaten. His youngest goal scoring record for us and the league. But no, it's sometimes you need players to get you off your seat, as they say, and he's definitely one of them. And I don't know when he's going to play, but I don't want to just see him come on 5 minutes to go. I mean, we're making substitutions. Now we've got such a big squad after 60 minutes and not 70, 75 minutes. There's been or 80 minutes, been a change. So I'd like to see him get the 60-minute call if he's not starting.
Yeah, definitely. And just the next question, I'll go for you first, Melvyn. Everton on the day were nearly 2 minutes away from a point. They limited Arsenal to very few clear-cut chances. And the first 3 best chances before the goal was obviously the 2 strikes from Dwight McNeil and the one from Beto that Reyes saved with his foot. Arsenal took their goals, but do you believe that David Moyes blueprint is the best way still to frustrate this Arsenal side going forward? And then do you have more concerns regarding teams adopting that style and being more ruthless in the running that we've got? Or do you think teams will be so, where you're competing for 4 trophies, do you think teams will be so desperate to go, no, look, we want to match you and attack you and play a bit like how Mansfield were like, do you know what? No, we're actually going to play you at your game and try and beat you at your game to humiliate you that way, instead of maybe beating you with a more, pragmatic approach, which Moyes did.
I thought they were very good. Everton, one of the better teams I've seen. I would have been sad, but had they beaten us, I've got a point. Well, most certainly beaten us. I wouldn't have said they cheated or they were lucky or they beat us. All right, they beat us. They played better than us. They beat us. Move on. We've messed up the league here. Get me everybody. I want to go home. But no, they played very well. They got some terrific footballers. They got that little geezer on the wing who plays. You know what I'm talking about? He scores number 10.
Yeah, and Die.
Yeah, no, very good player.
He is. Yeah, been linked with Arsenal. Been linked with Arsenal.
Yeah, I saw that. But he's the type of player that go, wow. You spot certain players in other teams. You think, oh, he's a little bit special, and he is a terrific player. And they've got some other. McNeil, he's got a fabulous left foot. He doesn't always do it. He blows a bit hot and cold, but he's got a fabulous left. On his day, he's terrific. And they played the game. Remember, they didn't play with their 2 centre halves. So it was that their backs could have been go right. We're struggling. They haven't got the centre halves. Their backs against the wall, just kick everything out and blah, blah. No, they never. They actually played a lot of good football. And they were playing through the lines, which not a lot of teams do at the Emirates. So, no, I was very impressed with it. Very impressed.
Yeah. And Neil as well, just both goals on the day were scored by substitutes, Gyökeres and obviously Max Dowman, and they were assisted by substitutes in Capier, like we mentioned. Gave the assist to Gyökeres, and Dowman scored from Martinelli, giving the assist to him. Just quickly, do you feel that this is Mikel Arteta showing that he's currently the best in-game manager in the Premier League? We've got 11 goals and 10 assists from our substitutes in the Premier League this season. So that's 21 goal involvements off the bench. If you contrast that to Man City, they have 1 goal and 1 assist from substitutes all season. So, we've got 20 plus on them there. In your opinion, is it Arteta's in-game management, or is it a testament to the sheer depth of this Arsenal squad compared to the years previous? Or is it a mix of both?
Well, that's why we're going for the quad and they're not. Simple, isn't it?
You can end it there if you want. That's a great answer.
I'd love to. I think it is a testament to Mr. Bertha, who managed to come in and get all these fabulous signings for starters. The depth of the squad certainly helps. I mean, you can't blame a manager for not exercising that skill if he hasn't got the players to do it. But the point, he's got the players to do it now. And I think he has been guilty many times of making very strange decisions in game. But I think he's got it right this season on the whole. On the whole, I think he's got it right. Not only in terms of personnel, but also at the time, like Melvyn just said a minute ago, the timing, bringing them on at the right time as well. Because I don't think it's fair bringing on someone because I remember it used to happen a lot with Emil Smith Rowe, if you remember, bringing him with like 4 minutes to play. You can't expect the kid to make an impact. You just can't. It's ridiculous. All right, okay, Max Dowman probably could, but he's an exceptional player. But you've got to give him the time. But I think he's got that depth. But yeah, it also takes a certain amount of prowess to be able to do the right thing. And it's just fallen perfectly for him this season. Every time he seems to make the substitution or the substitutions, it seems to be, going in our favour in a very positive manner. So, yeah, I think it's a bit of both. But let's not talk about the cheats. I want to talk about.
Yeah, no, spot on. And yeah, just moving quickly on, we had our next game against Bayern Leverkusen, and we come into that with the change lineup of Ben White in for Timber because of the injury, and then Hincapié back at left back and Trossard and Gyökeres added into the attack. And again, this game, I thought Arsenal started really well. One of our best front-footed performances for me from the off since kickoff all season. Really tested this goalkeeper. He had to make an absolutely barrage of saves. Trossard had about 3 himself, which he could have scored. Declan Rice hit a tremendous free kick at him. And you're looking and thinking, this is going to be one of those days again, isn't it, where we absolutely pepper a goalkeeper and then they have one chance and they score it. But then all of a sudden, cometh the moment, cometh Eberechi Eze. I'll go to you, Melvyn, first for this one. It's an absolute screamer, isn't it, from Eze to break the deadlock here. He receives the pass from Trossard, swivels with his back to goal, and just rifles a 20-yard volley into the top corner for his first ever goal in the Champions League. And with this goal, Eze become the first player for Arsenal since Theo Walcott 14 years ago to score for Arsenal in the Premiership, the Champions League, the FA Cup, and the League Cup in a single season. And he's now got 6 goal contributions in his last 9, really solidifying himself in this squad now. When Martin Odegaard initially got injured, he come in and he did really well. Then he got taken out. Then when he tried to come back, he couldn't adjust. But now I really feel he is a real key piece in this Arsenal squad, Melvyn.
When you're looking to unlock defence, you've got to have him in the side. He's something different. He's got a swagger about him. His ball control is unbelievable. He gets past players not only because of his intelligence, but he's a very strong player. Very difficult to get off the ball. I love him. I love watching him. And he's had a bit of an up and down season, let's face it, because there were a couple of games where it just didn't happen for him. I think the Aston Villa game put him back a few notches in Arteta's mind, but thankfully he's back in the side and he's done so well. I mean, that goal, it wasn't just a flick from Trossard, it was about 3 or 4 quick passes. I think it was a header, a flick, another flick, and then he turned. It was like a ballet dancer, wasn't he? A ballet dancer, but with very thick thighs, as they say, which you don't see on ballet dancers. He swiveled, and it was like, oh my God! It was one of those where you see him kick the ball, and you cannot follow the ball. All you're hoping for in that split second, you want to see the net move. You don't know what's happening. The ball could be anywhere. It could be the corner flag. But because you can't, as I say, you cannot follow that. It's just so fast. And like the commentator said, he went in the net before the goalie moved because it was so ridiculous. It's one of those not that I did it many times, but when you hit a ball correctly, 100% like that, you cannot feel the ball. It doesn't, there's no feeling on it. It's just perfect. And what a goal to open your European account with. I mean, and the way he walked away as well, it was like, it was just the whole thing was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So, and he's going to go from strength to strength now. I mean, I just can't wait. I mean, even if Odegaard is back, you've got to make room. If you've got to make room for Odegaard, I don't know what he's going to do, but you do not do it, in my opinion, at the expense of Eze.
Yeah, spot on. And Neil, if you want to wax lyrical about the goal and about Eze quickly here, by all means, fire away.
Yeah, I think we've been looking for a match or a game changer since Alexis Sanchez, and I think we might have found him in Eze. I think he can produce these moments, as we've seen. To be blessed consecutively, you had Doberman in the game before, and then this as well. In this one, to get that, back to back is just so sweet for us, considering how much we've been touted at being boring and set piece FC, own goal FC, and then to come up with stuff like this. All the other teams, all the pundits, opposing fans, they can just carry on being as green, the greenest of the greens with envy, because it's incredible. And I think there's no way he can't be starting now for the rest of the season if he stays fit. I think he's got to feature in all the games. He is going to make a massive difference. And the way that half turn and the ball hits so pure, it reminds me of Henry's goal against Man United. Very, very similar. kind of in the same spot as well. The only difference is I think Audrey went for the far post, whereas Eze's was more of the near post. But both goals were magnificent. It just reminded me of that. But the way that, like Melvyn said, it's just so fast. Even in slow motion, you're kind of double looking at it and seeing how it all transpired. The quick thinking on him is insane. But I've wanted to just give credit to the players beforehand, because there was a little bit of a build up to that. Although it looked messy, it wasn't. It was quite well done, actually. I'm so pleased for the lad, because I think he's a confidence player, and it's growing and growing and growing now. And I think now he's not going to be scared of doing what all of us have so wanted: have a pop outside the box. Because you never know. You just never know. And we've got to win games by any means possible now to be able to create history.
Yeah, no, you're spot on there. And even in the game before against Everton, he had the most shots outside the box from a player in the Premier League. So for this season anyway. So yeah, that's a great point that you've made there. Second half, I thought Arsenal still continued to play really well. Trossard had another chance that just went wide. And Gyökeres had a moment where he showed Gyökeres the footballer, not just the goal scorer, where he made a really good busting run, slid the ball into Hincapié, and if the defender didn't stop it, it was a tap-in, so he would have had a goal there. But yeah, Melvyn, I'll come back to you again for this one. Arsenal finally get the cushion, and Declan Rice makes it 2-0. He pounces on a loose clearance from Bayern Leverkusen, drives forward, and then just arrows a low clinical strike into the bottom corner. 8 of Declan Rice's 21 goals for Arsenal since he signed have come outside the box. 3 of them have been in the Champions League. And again, it just shows for me how much he thrives on the big stages since signing for this club. I mean, in the Champions League knockouts already, he got an assist away at PSV. He got a goal at home to PSV, had the 2 free kicks against Madrid. And now in a knockout game in this season's Champions League, he's got this goal against Bayern Leverkusen. And I don't like making the comparison, Melvyn, so you can shut me down if I've gone too quick. But the way he controlled that run and then finished like that, I said to my dad, and I went, look, I don't like saying it, Dad, because I'm not a fan of him really that much. But I said, very Steven Gerrard for me. It reminded me a lot of Steven Gerrard. I thought, do you know what? The way that you took that on yourself and then hammered that, well, more placed, like basically snooker-esque shot than a power, which he can do. He's got both in the locker. But yeah, I thought it was very Steven Gerrard-esque. What about you, Melvyn?
Yeah, I agree. It's definitely the way he went forward with it. But what I thought I was very impressed with, that he wanted it, didn't he? That ball, he was only going to win that ball. The guy next to him might have thought he wanted it, but he didn't want it as much as Rice. And Rice goes, no, this is mine. And he had one thing on his mind. It opened up. He thought, right, this is what I'm going to do. A fabulous goal. Very few players will score a goal like that. And he got it right. I think it took the paint off the goalpost, didn't it? That shot. It was so, because my wife came in. I shouted when we scored. I said, we scored again. She came in. I said, I don't know if it's hit the post or not. I'm not sure. And I'm still not 100% sure if it did or it didn't. It was so close to it. Doesn't matter, does it? But that's how precise that shot was. No, it was brilliant. The goalie couldn't move. As good as that goalie was that night, he couldn't move. He realised he'd been beaten once by a worldie, and don't even bother with this one either. No, fabulous. It's good to have a big, strong midfield player who wins it. He's got a presence about him moving forward, and that's what we've got in Rice. It's fantastic. So yeah, no, that comparison's not too bad about Gerrard. Not at all.
Yeah, and Neil, what about yourself for that one as well?
We must have got him from the bargain bucket place, Rice. Absolute steal at 105 million. Unbelievable. It's just unreal, and he's like I say about Raya. You know, I think arguably he's the best goalkeeper in the world at the moment. Same could be said about Rice in his position. I don't know if there's many players in his position at the moment that are any better than him. I just think it's just insane the way he can command a ball like that and then just do what the hell he wants with it. I think you made a great analogy there. It was very snooker-esque. You're absolutely right. And it's nice that he's got it in his locker to be able to do both types of shot. outside the box. That was a little bit like what Odegaard was able to do when he was scoring. It wasn't necessarily full of power, but so accurate, it didn't matter. He was just passing it into the net just beautifully. And if Rice can do that as well, wow, we've got quite an array of different types of skill with our players. They've just got to exercise it a bit more. We know they can all do it. Just exercise it a bit more. But I think it's wonderful for him, to almost emulate the celebration when he scored against Madrid as well. It was just nice to see that. And Melvyn, you touched on there that he wanted it. He so enjoys it. He's smiling. He's so happy. You can see when he's on the interviews afterwards. He first and foremost, he's doing it for the team. But there's that little bit of, I'm just so happy for myself. And I love that. And I think you need that as a player. It might come across as arrogant to some people, but I think you need that arrogance to succeed as a top line professional, as a football player. He's just amazing. I'm so blessed to say that we've got him at Arsenal, and I just stay fit for the entirety of the season, please, because we need you so badly.
I mean, it could be a rhetorical question, and it is a rhetorical one. I've said it a few times before, thought it many times. Seeing him play like that and seeing how good he is, I'm thinking to myself, and he had a lot of pressure on him when he first came to us. Then let's not forget that. He had a lot of pressure. Are you happy you joined us? You know what I mean? He must be so delighted he made that decision, because it could have gone horribly wrong on so many different fronts. And he's just gone far better than most people have thought. When we did sign him, a West Ham supporter I met, he goes, "You bought a good one." They said, "No, he's good. He's good. He's good." No. He says, "You've bought a bit of a player there. You'll see." And he's so right.
Yeah. I mean, obviously where I live was West Ham Central pretty much, and they all said, you know what, he was a good player for us, but they went, since he's joined you, you've made him a great player. They said he's gone up. They went, he's definitely gone up, and he's lifted your team. But he said the way you've moved him from just a normal number 6 type defensive midfielder into this up and down, box to box, whatever you want to call it. They said you've definitely elevated him, and I mean. I don't ever want to think of him going, but if he did, we'd definitely elevated that price. We'll definitely make our money back and then some if he is going to go. But yeah, just before the game ends, after all that domination, when needed on the 88th minute, David Raya, doesn't he? He adds to his collections of saves. I mean, he's got a highlight reel and a half this season, like you said, Neil, earlier. He really has, and it's a one-handed fingertip. It's a one-handed fingertip save from this Kafane, who was brilliant. He was brilliant in the first leg, but then I think Saliba and Gabriel understood. They did their homework and were like, "I ain't getting embarrassed by this kid's second leg." And but no, just what a save! Honestly, I've watched it back a few times, and I'm like, on the initial first watch, I'm like, "How have you done that?" And then I'm watching it back again, and I'm like, "No, he's." Like you said there, Neil, I mean, he's the best in Europe for clean sheets. So by the statistics, he is the best in the world. But watching that, you're like, yeah, no, come on. I think this guy's got to get more. I know you're trying to not be biased, but I don't think he's talked about in the levels of it that he should be. And I mean, he's not even Spain's number one. I'm like, whoever Spain are picking to be their number one goalkeeper, I want to watch, because I'm like, he's got to be. Next to Donnarumma and Courtois, he's got to be one of the best going. If he's better than David Raya, and I want to know who he is, because he's got to be some goalkeeper.
I actually don't mind that he's not. The fact that he's not.
Oh no, neither do I. Yeah, these internationals that are coming up, withdraw, get them all out the squads.
keep it exactly how it is. Let him focus on the club, which happens to be our club, and I'm happy with that. And the way Melvyn said about the speed of Eze's goal, this is the kind of the opposite, because it was the speed of Raya. I don't know whether he's got the flash in him, superhero, but that was just insane. Even the commentators were saying they were behind the goal and they don't know how he saved it, because that was in the back of the net all day long. Even the most prolifically brilliant goalkeepers probably wouldn't have got to that. This is. And it's incredible when you think that he's one of the shorter goalkeepers as well. He is unbelievable. What an amazing find. I take everything back because I was quite annoyed at the start because I loved Ramsdale. You know how much I loved him, James. And I was so annoyed that this guy just comes in and takes over after I thought Ramsdale had a fairly good season. Well, I thought a very good season. Some of the saves he made, remember, were incredible. And I thought, why are you doing this to the poor kid? Why are you doing this to him? And then now it all makes sense. So do you know what? This is, again, you were talking about game management. I think that was a great decision by Arteta. Fantastic. You deserve a pat on the back of that because Raya is something else.
Yeah, definitely. And with that, we've won. We're into the quarterfinals, making a record 3 consecutive years in the quarterfinals of the Champions League. But yeah, for this game, man of the match, we might have differing ones here, so I'm all for the debate. But I had to pick Eze for me. A sublime 70 minutes from him. Like I said, he's shown that he's really comfortable in that 8/10 role that our captain has applied for many a year. And I agree with what you guys said. I think it's a real fight now for that shirt to get it back for Odegaard. I think he's really got to step up to do something to take that shirt off Eze at the moment. But yeah, flowers as well for Declan Rice with his goal and his performance. And I thought Trossard, first game back in a long time. I thought Trossard was really good against Leverkusen. And then you just got to shout out that defence, 25 clean sheets in 49 games. I think that's incredible. I think that's some doing. I really do. But yeah, you guys, any discussions, arguments on man of the match from you?
For me, very quickly, it's either between Raya and Eze for me. So yeah, I agree with it. Eze, yeah, he deserves it. That goal was unreal, definitely.
Yeah, and Melvyn?
Yeah, 100% Eze for me, and also he's doing a lot more chasing back as well, getting involved. The whole game's changed with him. He's a higher level now as a player, I believe, than when he was at Palace. We've made him, we've given him another 10%, or he's given us another 10% from Palace. He's really good, and yeah, he was the difference. Yeah, Raya, fantastic, but for me, Eze.
Yeah, and just 2 quick questions here, and then we'll do the lineup and the predictions for the next game and wrap up. I'll go to you first, Melvyn, because you've obviously seen more of them, and then I'll touch on them for you, Neil. 25 clean sheets in 49 games for this defence, Melvyn. Saliba and Gabriel, are they officially now part of, for you, Arsenal's potentially greatest ever centre-back partnership? You saw McClintock and Simpson, you saw Adams and O'Leary, Adams and Bold, Campbell and Adams, Campbell and Toure. Where do you rank these two, or are you still of the view, like me, that until the trophies have been achieved, these records don't push them into that legendary contention until they've won the trophies?
Yeah, I agree. They've got a lot to win something, though it shouldn't make any difference. The performances are the same. They're just, one game or 1 minute or 1 second shouldn't define whether you're the greatest pair of defenders or not. You missed one out. The one I thought was very good, who did a lot for us, was O'Leary and Young, who passed away last year, Willie Young. They were phenomenal. They were the best, I think. They suited each other as a pair more than any other pair I've seen. This pair do, obviously, but it was like Beauty and the Beast, I would call them, the centre halves, with O'Leary and Willie Young. And I don't mean the way they look, I mean the way they play football. I mean, it was fabulous to watch. No, yes, these two are very good. They're up there, but let's win the title first. And I agree with Neil, and I think you might do as well, that out of all the titles we may or may not win, the Premiership is the one for me. That is the one. I know we're in 4. But if you even said to me now, you'll take 1, I'll accept the Premiership as the only one.
Yeah, no, fair enough. And then Neil, I know you mentioned him a bit earlier, so I'll go to you with this one. Bukayo Saka finished the game against Leverkusen. He had the joint most shots with 5, the joint most created chances with 5. However, some of the pundits, and I'll single out Darren Bent here, not in a nasty way, but Darren Bent described Saka's performance against Leverkusen on the day as greedy and desperate. He said, he ignored Gyökeres and Trossard when they were in better positions. And while I thought myself that it was a better and much more involved performance in high contrast compared to the game against Leverkusen away and the game against Everton. Do you agree with what Darren Bent said here? And do you also feel that Saka is putting too much pressure on himself to be the main man for this squad on these European nights and in this run for the quadruple? Or do you feel that high volume approach of him trying to do everything for himself is eventually going to pay off like it has beforehand? Because, you know, there has been times where he's played like this when maybe we weren't a better team and it did help. But do you feel that, you know, we've got good players now, so you don't have to, but, you know, you don't have to weigh the whole burden on yourself, Saka. There's a whole team now that you can, you know, play with.
I don't want to get into a Saka kind of.
It's fine.
Put down, but I because it's been a really positive podcast, and I don't want to bring the mood down. But no, I speak honestly. He's not in the races at all at the moment. He just isn't. He's a shadow of the player he was. I don't know what the reason is. We can talk about injury, recovery time, and all this kind of nonsense. But at the end of the day, he's a £300,000 a week player. He's our captain for the most part of the moment, and he's not. That's not reflective on the performances whatsoever. Whether I agree with Ben or not, I mean I voice my own opinions. I don't want to hear noise from outside. Whether my opinions are justified or not, that's for other people to judge. But they're my opinions. And
I would rather you be on TalkSport than him, if I'm being honest. I mean, that's personal preference, but yeah.
Bless you, too kind. I think for Saka, he has. I think he might be trying to do too much. It might have worked before because I don't think we had the quality. With all the due respect with the players that have been there before, maybe not necessarily the quality. Maybe I'm a bit harsh there, but I think we've got the right balance now. That's what I'm trying to say. I think we don't. I don't remember our team being as well balanced as it is now, and I think that way it's evolved in the last season, especially. And I think he's got to acknowledge that, and he doesn't have to do it, like you said perfectly there, James. He doesn't have to do everything himself. I think he is trying too hard. I think he is still trying to be the main man. He doesn't need to be that way, and it is surprising. I'd like to think it's not that he's not feeling this way, but I can't help. We can only see what we see. We can only judge on what we see, and I think he is trying to be too selfish. He hasn't been servicing Gyökeres, as we've all discussed before in the past, as much as he should. And of course, Gyökeres got his bit of revenge for that. I just feel that at the moment I wouldn't be starting him. I would have preference with I'd start Madueke. I think Madueke is giving a lot more than what Saka is. I can't remember which match it was. It was very recent, maybe in the last 3. He came on for Saka and he did more in the next 30 seconds than Saka had done.
Yeah, Leverkusen away. Yeah.
Oh well, there you go. So I just feel you've got to change something, and I think also there may be a rift between him and Gyökeres. I get that feeling. That's got to be eradicated. And I mentioned it in, I don't know whether it was Michael's pod or Jack's pod, but I said this is so surprising considering he's a gunner through and through, a gooner through and through, like his family. We're going for potentially a brink of history here, or on the cusp of history. Why isn't he more involved emotionally? His attitude, everything, and it just does. To me, he seems very distant. There's almost like a divide now, and I don't understand it. And I hope it changes. I hope I'm wrong with everything I've just said, and I hope in the very next game, if he starts, as in we know what that game is, that he comes and he's the old Saka again. I'd love nothing more because that boy has carried us for so many years, and I still love him, and I always will love him. But mate, something is not right at the moment.
And Melvyn, is there anything that you want to add there on the Saka debate, or are you firmly behind what Neil's saying?
No, I agree with Neil. I do agree with Neil. He hasn't been doing it for some time now. And also, you pick up things when players are not playing particularly well. You look at different angles, and it might be my eyes are playing tricks, but he looks not overweight's the wrong, over muscled, if you like. He looks he's bigger than he's been for some time. It might be that they've built him up for a certain reason, but he's not that. He can't get away from players anymore. He's looking for the tackle rather than trying to get away from the player when he gets the ball. But listen, hopefully it's a blip. Hopefully it's nothing to do with his £300,000 a week playing on his mind like and a couple of players did with Ozil and Aubameyang. I'm sure it's not that because he does love the club. Let's face it, he is Arsenal. He's like Brighton Rock. It's got that all the way through him. So no, let's hope it's just a silly phase I'm going through. 10cc that was, wasn't it? I'm not in love.
Yeah, great song. But yeah, again, just quickly before we wrap up and do the lineup and then the predictions for tomorrow. A couple of weeks ago, I had a comment come through, and they spoke about the podcast at length, and they said about the provocative language, some of the sexual innuendos that I've made, and they said to me about finding God, and they went, James, you need to find God, and they said you need to take questions from God, and you need to listen to God. So I took this all on board. And I went online and I found God. And when I found God, I got questions sent in to me to ask God on the show. So this comes from Daryl Kaysen. He's aged 6 years old and he's from Winchester. And so I will grab God. Here he is. God is here. I found him online. And Daryl Kaysen said to me, he said, Dear James / God, he said, how will I ever find the one just like Daddy found Mummy? And God said to me, look for someone who provides you the perfect assist in your life. I once controlled a 60-yard long through ball from Frank de Boer with the tip of my toe whilst it was spinning against Argentina in 1998. If they can't provide you that in your life, and they don't appreciate you flicking it and then smashing it into the back of the net, they are not your soulmate. And they are probably a fan of Stoke City. So move on. So that was the first in our new segment of Ask God. I want to thank Daryl from Winchester for that question. If there's any more questions you want to send in, by all means, get them there and we will answer them on the show. But yeah, tomorrow, Carabao Cup final against Manchester City. Lineup, I think it pretty much picks itself, but I've done one anyway. I've gone for Kepa in goal. I think he will keep him. He will not bring David Raya in. David Raya has just become a parent, I believe, this week as well. Congratulations to him and his family. Timber, I think, is fit, so he will go straight back in there. The rest of that picks itself. The midfield for me at the moment picks itself. And I think he will keep Trossard in over Martinelli. Saka will captain the side. And Big Vic will play up front. What's saying all of you?
I've gone. No, you go first, please.
Sorry, I would rather. Excuse me. I'd rather him play Rare in goal. I know he's got a kid and all that, but I know that he's played. Kepa's played. Excuse me. Kepa's played the whole way through in this competition, and normally that's what you would do. But this is such an important game, as we're touching on, such an important game that Ray is really up there with form. I would play him, really. Also, I would not play Trossard. I would play Martinelli. He's got such a great record against City. The goal he got at the Emirates this year was sublime. And I just feel that he raises his game against City, Martinelli. You know that Trossard hasn't scored for this year or something, some strange.
Yes, yeah, he hasn't scored in 2026 yet. Yeah,
but
it's always no better time to score than tomorrow.
No, true. And he did score against them, didn't he? Was it the Charity Shield? He equalised.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So he likes to toss up there. That's that. Other than that, no, I can see Saka starting, but if it ain't happening for him, take him off and put Madueke on straight away. Straight away. Don't wait to the 60th minute. Perhaps wait to the 16th. No, he wouldn't do that. But the 16th minute. But anyway, it's just I agree. That's probably my team. How I would do it slightly differently to you. And in Cape to Calafiori, both of them got great qualities. We're very lucky to have both those players in the squad that can play on the left-hand side. So I think it's a toss-up. I mean, in Cape, he can tackle, can't he? He can really get stuck in. He's got something about him. He's just, and he seems to be enjoying every minute of playing. So yeah, I suppose I would have him over Calafiori for the minute. All right, I'll give you that one. Yeah.
And Melvyn, if I had to press you on a prediction for tomorrow, what you thinking of feeling?
2-1.
Good man. Good man. Yeah. And Neil, yourself?
I'm going with Melvyn. I think I've said it already, and you know this, James. I as much as it would be an injustice on Kepa, I think you got to go. You go for your best, your strongest team, and the informed team. And we have been just this whole podcast waxed lyrical on the saves that Raya has made. We know City can be a potent attacking force. I know they're not the City of old, as everyone keeps reminding us. So obviously, when we do win the league, or when we win the quad and we beat everyone's record, it won't really be real because City weren't at their best. So let's all get that out of the way straight away, shall we? Cheats 115. But I think you've got to go with your best informed players. And as much as Kepa deserves to be there, and don't get me wrong, he does, because we're in the final and he's been throughout the whole tournament, he's been in goal. I just feel this, if it had been any other League Cup final where the context was different, then I would have said Kepa all day long. But I think there is something very different about this League Cup final, because it's not just about the League Cup final in isolation. It's about how it's going to define us for the rest of the next 8 weeks or whatever it is that's left, 8-10 weeks. And because of that importance, I just feel you've got to have Raya in there. But I know he's going to stick with Kepa. I'll be shocked if Raya's there, actually. I'm just saying what my preference is. So that's that. And I agree again with Melvyn. If Saka ain't doing it, get him off. And this is another thing. He's going to walk into Wembley as captain of Arsenal FC. You have to turn up, son. You're the captain of Arsenal FC walking into Wembley. Do you know how prestigious that is? So you make sure you behave, act like a captain, and let your football do the talking as captain. If I don't see that, I want Madueke on there. Sorry, that's the way I see it. As for the rest of the team, yeah, that's fine. Again, Martinelli, Trossard, I think it's either way, really. But Martinelli has been wonderful in the Champions League. But I think there is a good point there, Melvyn. I think he does do well against City, and he loves playing City. So, you know, we've got that as well to consider. But I can't see anything but a 3-1 win.
Love it. Love it. I'm going to be the same as Melvyn. I'm going to go for a 2-1. I'm going to go for a 2-1 Arsenal win on the day. But yeah, thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in as always. Thank you both.
Just quick. I'm very pleased. I'm so pleased. This, I think we think on the same level, that it was Bergkamp that came up as God, because there is only one God, and it is DB10. It is DB10. DB10. I'm not a religious person, but there is only one God. DB10. Thank you so much, James.
No, anytime. Like I said, I had to go and find him online, and managed to pick him up. So, you know, like David's been here for a while, but Dennis, you know, Dennis come along. Like I said, that comment, they said I've got to find and take questions for God and listen to God. So that's a new segment on the show now. Ask God. So yeah, if anyone, like I said, if you want to send more questions in, I want to thank Daryl again for all his questions. Great question. But yeah, no, thank you very much, guys. And if people want to find and hear more from you, Melvyn, where can they go? And hopefully they can see you next. Hopefully they can see you next.
What I'll do, I'll send you a photograph next week. All about Arsenal. I'm on sometimes. That's that brilliant podcast. This one, obviously, and on Twitter, just Melvyn Marks. Melvyn, the only way is Arsenal Marks.
Legend. Thank you very much as always. And Neil, where can people go to quickly find you as well?
If they find you, they'll find me.
Yeah, good answer. Great answer. All right, well, thank you very much, everybody. Enjoy your Saturday. We're not playing, so go do anything else you want. If you've got to do your shop run before the game tomorrow, get your food and your drink or whatever in, go and do it, but do it responsibly. And roll on tomorrow. Up the Arsenal. First trophy. First of the quad, isn't it, Neil? First of the quad. Let's go.